Oh, do you not want to touch on your bottom two then? Not
Oh,
bothered
sorry.
about
I
it.
think I said it. I touched on them briefly.
No,
You
but
know what
you
I'm
don't.
saying?
You don't want
I
to
mean, look.
explore.
All right, let's explore then. Sorry. So, in terms of receiving
Sorry, another
gifts,
B.
and I think that's most people really. Sorry, what'd you say?
No, I just said there was another B. Sorry, that's why I was going like this. Go ahead, restart.
So, in terms of the bottom one, receiving gifts, um, it's not that I don't like receiving gifts. Everybody likes receiving gifts. It's just the time we spend. Time is probably more of a finite
Hmm.
resource, and I think that's with everybody. And the thing is, even me, I need to give people more time. Your friends, family, particularly family, you want to make sure you give them more time, and it's just such a pressure on everybody. So you've got to prioritize better, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like actions always speak louder than words, and sometimes people use gifts to try and do
Cover
a quick
stuff
way
up.
to get in there. Yeah, sometimes. So then I just don't place as much value on that. You know what I mean? And then yeah, words of affirmation. I guess you know what I feel like I'm a self-confident person, and I'm already cheerleading myself.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, you're right in the front there.
yeah, exactly. See, so just pom poms, and that means that I don't know. I'm not going to say people that need words of affirmation all the time are insecure, but I'm just saying, I'm on a balanced level where it's nice to hear the appreciation, but it's just not a top thing for me. I affirm that it is what it is. We're going to let things flow in a relationship, romantic or otherwise. And, to be honest, in my recent past, it's usually the people that use the titles of yo brother and all this kind of stuff. It's usually those people that are using those titles again to cover up something.
Hmm.
So in my experience, I've learned not to place too much value on these words. So similar to the gifts thing, really. People
Yeah.
can use those gifts words to cover up stuff sometimes.
Yeah, I do think a lot of people, they kind of think the gift will throw people off course. Like if someone is getting a bit, I don't know, unhappy in a relationship, or they're catching on to stuff you're doing that isn't quite right. People think that, oh, if they blindside them with the gift, then it kind of makes everything okay. And it's like, well, I mean, if the intention of the gift is to sort of get you out of something, like a get out clause, then that's not right, is it? Like, if you're giving a gift, it should be because you want to give a gift and it's unconditional and you want someone to enjoy it, not because there's a reason behind it to make you look better or get you off something. So, yeah, 100%. I guess I'll go through mine. So, my top one
Yeah.
was quality time at 33%. So, that's quite good that we're both in sync in that respect. Both quite high on the list. And then, sorry, Paris, are you there?
Sorry, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but your video's frozen.
Okay, you keep cutting in and out. I bet it's me.
Can you refresh? Okay, it's all right now. Let's come back. Yeah, it's all right
Alright,
now.
cool.
Okay, so I'm going to go through my results now. My top one was quality time at 33%. So close to yours, Paris, which is good that we're both in sync in that regard. Um, yeah, so we like spending time with each other and appreciate making time for each other. My second one, which is why I said, hey, talk isn't cheap, is words of affirmation at 30%. So
Wow.
I guess to me, words do have meaning behind them, um, and it's nice to hear, that someone does care or appreciates you or encourages you, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's an interesting one because that's kind of a bit opposite, maybe.
Well,
Um,
it's just the way. you receive words versus the way that I receive words, and maybe the way that you words have been used for you in a genuine way versus the way that words have been used on me, maybe. But I feel like I do give you a lot of that, positive encouragement. So yeah,
Yeah, I think you
hopefully I'm
do.
meeting.
So I find it interesting that, I guess, even though I feel I give you the same back, maybe you don't need it. I don't know. It's interesting, right? Or like it's nice for you to hear it, but it's not necessarily going to, I don't know, have the most positive impact or make or break your day. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a huge
Just
thing for you.
it just depends who's saying the words
Mm.
basically with me. So I can put your words on a pedestal, or somebody I trust that's a close friend, but maybe someone else, yeah, would have to do a bit more. That's all it means, really, from my
Mm.
perspective.
Okay, so my third one was acts of service. So I guess this is just anything you do to help your partner out, or if you notice, like, I don't know, if I notice you're knackered, then I'll, if I know you have football the next day, I'll get your everything ready for you so you don't need to worry about it, or things like that. So I guess I appreciate it when people do that for me. That's what this is saying. So yeah, acts of service. Um, then physical touch. So yeah, I enjoy that, but I guess I don't know really what that means. I definitely enjoy it. I love holding your hand, hugs, all that kind of stuff. Um, but for me, I think I like it when that comes along with the words of affirmation. Do you know what I mean? Almost reinforcing each other. Yeah, you're looking at
Mm.
me blankly.
Yeah. Sometimes it cuts in and out, so I'm just being quiet so you can just speak, and so I don't interrupt. And
Okay, so then my last one is receiving gifts. So very similar to you. I guess it's always nice to get a gift, but it's not like it's
be all and end all.
yes, exactly. Like the intention behind it, or actions, or someone saying something, is even more meaningful than the gift. So yeah. Sorry, I feel like I
Yeah,
have a piece of hair stuck on my face.
I don't think I see it. But yeah, I mean, it's good because I'm not going to shade anybody who likes gifts, but sometimes you ain't got the money for it or whatever the case may be. So you can do other things to show that you care. Maybe
Yeah.
making somebody dinner, or so the best things. My love don't cost a thing. Words
Dun,
Jennifer
dun,
Lopez.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So do you feel like your answers were accurate then? Oh, sorry, your results were accurate.
Um, I think yes for quality time, because I think it's really important to make time for each other, and if someone does that for me, then yeah, it sort of shows, like, I don't want to say that like I'm a priority in their book, but they want to spend that time with you. They enjoy it. It's that kind of thing where you both enjoy each other's company. So if you make time to spend time, that's really important. And I think maybe not so much now during lockdown, but before lockdown, that was a huge thing because everyone was just so busy doing so much stuff, whether work, meeting friends, sports, in your case, music, etc., etc. Sometimes it was really hard to balance all of that. Like even if you live together, sometimes it's really hard. So people making that effort is really important and means a lot, at least to me. The one that I thought would be higher would be the physical touch, but as I said, I think for me that has to be sort of coupled with the other things to be meaningful. So maybe that's why it's not as high. Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, I guess something being lower on the list doesn't mean it's not powerful and not an
Mm.
element of things. You can't. You've got to have balance ultimately. I mean, I would have thought that your acts of service would have been higher, just because just in the past, like when you've been unwell and I've looked after you, or surprise, made a dinner or something like that. you're just completely blown out of the water. But then, yeah, I think they're all kind of powerful things, and as you
Maybe
say,
that for me gets almost twisted into quality time. I don't know. They're almost kind of similar things. Like, you know, if you make dinner for someone and then you have dinner together, that's kind of quality time in addition to an act of service. I don't know. Maybe that's why. I also think with this quiz, if you take it at different times, you get different answers. Like right now, quality time is going to be really high for me because obviously we're not in the same place. So spending time together is at the forefront of my mind. Like obviously, you know, looking forward to seeing you when I do and all that kind of stuff. And words of affirmation will be high because all we can do right now is talk and things like that. Whereas maybe if we were back home and like worrying about things like, I don't know, you know, your standard chores that you have to do or people are tired from work, then it would be acts of service. So I think that if you take it on different days, you're going to get different answers.
no, I definitely agree there. So I think overall, we weren't completely blown out of the water by each other's results or kind of our results. So why do you think people do these types of quizzes? To be fair, I kind of touched on it, but it just means that like in life we don't really get much time to self-reflect about what we want, what we need, and what we're giving out to people. And whatever stage of a relationship or whatever stage of friendships that you're at, it's always good to check in and then try and improve this communication, make life a little less frustrating, I think. And yeah, the website itself does say no matter what situation you're in, marriage, relationship, single, you know, friendships, check in with yourself, try to figure out how you like to communicate and be communicated with.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's all about sort of communication with other people, but also kind of learning about yourself. I think like we don't usually ask ourselves, oh, how do I like this and how do I like that? So it's good to kind of have a metric to figure that out and to realize, you know, you can do it and you know you feel like this right now. It doesn't mean things won't change in future, so maybe it's a good thing to keep checking in with yourself. And I think if you do have a partner, it's really important to know what is meaningful to them so that you communicate it in the best way. Because otherwise, like, you might be doing something that you think is really meaningful, whereas to them it would mean a lot more if you did it in a different way. And it's not about you changing, it's just about you finding the best way to communicate with each other and show each other, you know, you do appreciate them and things like that. So yeah, I think it's important. It's good to have a bit of self-reflection, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's interesting specifically to romantic relationships. You know, when you're on a first date, you're not asking about love languages, mainly because most people don't know. They just don't even know. So if everybody can get to know themselves before they even enter the dating realm, then maybe they can bring these things up and it will save a few communication challenges in the future. But communication is just the number one thing, no matter what, in any relationship. That's key.
100%.
And yeah, maybe a lot of people talk about, oh, the romance is gone. But you know what? You don't need romance. That's quite a broad term. Maybe you can just hone in on that number one love language or number two together combined. And then that will have the same effect of making the person feel visible, seen, appreciated. So that's probably a good tip, you know, for those guys that don't see themselves as romantic. Figure out the love language of your partner and then do something along those themes, those lines,
Yeah,
really.
100%, because that is like romance is basically showing you care in whatever form. Like, I mean, obviously people define it as like roses and dinners and all this kind of stuff, but it's basically showing you care. Like, romance could be just writing a little note saying, you know, I love you or have a good day. It doesn't need to be this massive, expensive act of, you know, grandiose sort of gesture. It really doesn't need to be. I mean, it's nice if it is, don't get me wrong, everyone likes that.
Yeah, it's nice.
But the little acts are just as important, you know, words here or there, or a hug here or there, or whatever. So I think, yeah, it's important to strip it back and remember what is meaningful. yeah, and how to show that you care and love someone.
Well said. So yeah, I mean, is there anything else you wanted to add about this topic that I don't know, that popped into your head?
I think I'd be interested to do it in the context of like family and stuff and see if I get the same results. Because as I said, there are a few different contexts of the quiz that you can take, so I might have a play around with those. But also, just to say thank you to Iluta Viz, who suggested that we should do this. She's someone who always watches our videos, always gives us lots of comments, and this has been a really fun thing to do. And as I said, just from a reflection point of view, really enjoyed it. So, and also, I think I've also seen a little bit of growth. If I remember doing this when I was younger, I'm pretty sure receiving gifts was a bit higher, so I'm happy that that's dropped down. So yeah, I think it's good to continuously check in with yourself, and you can see a bit of growth. But yeah, if like Elusive is, you have anything that you want us to do or talk about, then let us know. We're always happy to hear your suggestions. And as always, thank you for watching.
And yeah, it's Christmas into New Year, so for those that celebrate Christmas, enjoy it as best you can. Christmas does not look normal. Christmas 2020, not to mention the shambles that is this, the UK government's handling of the situation.
Tier 4, bloody tier 4.
Yeah, so we don't know. I don't know if Selena's going to come back in the country when, but we're going to be back though. We will be back, not necessarily next Sunday, as soon as we can. With you guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for watching us over these past 6 months almost. And yeah, we'll see you in 2021. Gosh, it's been a movie.
That's so scary. So scary. But yeah, thank you so much for watching us and for your support, and stay safe. We hope everyone has a lovely Christmas and a great New Year.
Yeah, definitely like, share, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe, and thank you to those who made it to this far in the video. Ho, ho, ho.
Bye.